Welcome to Tech Abilities, produced live in the Blind Abilities studio. I want to thank all of you for listening and for sending in your feedback. It's well appreciated. And if you want to send us some feedback, give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave a message. We'd love to hear from you. Or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the tech tidbits and news that we cover in this episode. So without further ado, let's get this show started.
You know what a new word I learned during the spelling bee, Jeff? Fartlick. Because you do this all the time, Jeff. You fartlick all the time.
I can barely spell any words.
I like the passkeys idea.
Have you done a treadmill since you lost your vision?
Okay, you gotta hook a sister up. What are you using?
When was the last time any of you left your house without a phone?
Hey.
This is Apple's way of kind of like making Siri smart again.
I always like to look around. You want to just check things out. It's always as the crow flies.
Could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
I saw a mime the other day, or someone was describing
Did you say
it
a
to
mime?
Mime?
Really? Really, Jeff? A mime?
With the beret and the striped shirt and everything?
Was he in a box?
Oh, this is Tech Abilities. That's right.
Every time, Jeff.
Live from the Blind Abilities studios. This is Tech Abilities. I'm Jeff Thompson from Friendly Freely, Minnesota. And it's a beautiful day out here because we have to do the weather first. And I'm going to send it all the way to Colorado. Serena Gilbert, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeff. It's also gorgeous here. The sun's out. I think the high today was like 72. It's like perfect right now. I love summer. It's meteorological summer. So.
As we started the show, Callie hit her weather and it's starting to drizzle. Oh, sorry, Callie.
That's okay. As David Byrne in Talking Heads said, same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. That's the way it is here.
Watching the days go by.
Callie Gray, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be back.
WWDC, the dust is starting to settle. I know every podcast out there has covered it. It was kind of neat to take it in and let it digest a little bit here, and neat little perspective. Callie, what's your general feeling from the show?
To be honest, I was overwhelmed by all of the new features that will come out with iOS16. Like I told you before, I'm a basic iPhone user. I use it to make phone calls, send messages, read emails, an Uber here and there, Instacart. So there are just so many things that were thrown at me that I was just really overwhelmed. So that's my word for it, overwhelmed.
How about Miss Colorado?
Ooh, I got an upgrade. Miss Colorado, I'll take that. I can't think of one single word. So maybe I'll just say a phrase. And, we'll talk more about this as we talk about the different features. But my overall feeling of it was been there, done that for so many of the features. Ooh. We'll get into it. But there's a couple little things I'm super excited about. But a lot of them, it's things that have been taken from elsewhere.
I have to admit, during the Mac part of it, I was yawning. It just went on.
Well, it went on forever for the Mac part.
Yeah, I like how they do their presentation. However, when they get into the data, all the specifications and all that, and comparing it to something they were boasting about just a few months back and how it is outpacing their last one that people just purchased. I wonder how they feel. Oh, wow, I got taken. It was, to me, a little overkill. And with all this iOS16 and OS Ventura, to me, it's predominantly a lot of visual candy. I mean, they had great audio description, but some of the talk that they were doing, like when they were doing the lock screen and an icon pops up and you just long press. I just hope that's all accessible.
Yeah. Because I think that if you have vision, I think people who have sight are over the moon with everything that was announced. If I had vision, that lock screen, I would be so all over that, being able to adjust the font and actually see it. I mean, I'm presuming I could adjust it using VoiceOver. I'm not sure, but I can't see it, so it's going to be lost on me. But those are some of the fun features that I like. You have this awesome screen. It would be great to adjust the font for the time and day, and you can pop your pictures out so, they're sitting in front of the date and time and not behind. So I think those are great features if you have vision. But like I said, it's going to be lost on me.
I do think it's really cool, the fact that they're enabling widgets on the lock screen, because I can think of things that would just be like my Google Calendar. It'd be super nice for that to just be on my lock screen, or a to-do list that's just sitting right there, kind of front and center, easy to go in, check off, yes, I did this super quick, or check the weather just like right there on the lock screen without having to dig into the phone. I think that's where voiceover users may find something pretty useful there. Imagine if there's like a seeing AI widget right there on the lock screen. Like that'd be really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would. And they also announced that notifications are going to be coming from the bottom up. They're going to scroll from the bottom up. I'm not sure how that's going to work or with voiceover, but it sounds pretty cool.
The lock screen actually was working pretty good. The notifications, yes, they did come in at the bottom, but you just hear them come in until I touched. Then I realized they were down at the bottom. So it's pretty good. Everything was functioning well. I did hear or read an article where someone had set up 21 different lock screens. I mean, whoa.
I wonder how you get to them. Like
Really?
what? I don't fully understand the purpose of the different lock screens personally. They said that you could tie it to different focus settings and things like that. But I mean, so are you going to be swiping through your lock screens kind of like on your Apple Watch where you can swipe through complications? I don't know. That I didn't fully understand.
I see it being used for like 9 to 5. While you're at work, you might have something coming up. While you're doing other things, you might have something else come up on that very specific lock screen. I don't think I have to have the perfect matching lock screen come up when I'm going out for, dinner or out to eat or something like that, or to the club.
The club.
But hey, yeah.
Is that the senior center?
Hey.
Like,
Really, the seniors.
Free toast on Tuesdays. Don't knock it.
you did bring up a good point, though. As you were talking, I did think there could be a point where I'd have maybe 2 lock screens, one for my 9 to 5, where it's got my work calendar and work to-dos and things like that. And then one that's got more my personal calendar and personal to-dos or something like that. So I guess I could see that application.
I could see it if you're going to a concert and stuff and you don't want to open up your phone because you're usually busy, that you just want to bring something up that you might want to have your Uber, your Maps or something. So it's going to be interesting how people utilize these. They also talked about Siri shortcuts and stuff, that they're all going to be built in and they're ready to go. They're hidden. They're in a folder, blah, blah, blah.
I didn't understand that part.
Yeah. Is it your shortcut or is it their shortcut? Is it a shortcut's shortcut? I don't know. Come on, Siri. Just don't use the word shortcut. Just be Siri.
Well, I read an article that this is Apple's way of kind of like making Siri smart again, by having these built-in shortcuts. I have 2 shortcuts. One that you did on Blind Abilities a couple of years ago, where it turns off Wi-Fi. So it's not searching for Wi-Fi when I'm on my paratransit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also one, and Serena had mentioned this a few weeks ago, that's how some of the apps have shortcuts built in. And the Seeing AI app has one. And I set that one up. So when I'm getting something out of the pantry and I want to know if I have peaches or if I have green beans, I can say, "What is this?" That's the phrase. And it opens up Seeing AI to the scanner and I can scan it and easy peasy, it's done. That was very easy to set up. So if they're doing shortcuts that are like that I can utilize, I would probably look into them, but like I'm not a programmer. I'm not going to sit down and build my own shortcuts. I'm not that person.
Random question. With Seeing AI, I set up a shortcut as well. And I'm wondering if you both encounter this issue. Every once in a while, so I stopped using a shortcut because it wasn't saving me any time. Even when I open it manually, Seeing AI will act as though it's brand new to the world and make me agree to the terms, and all the little help things keep popping up. I don't know if that's a me thing or if that's happened to you all as well.
I switched over to Voice Dream Scanner. I mean, that thing is so accurate. I got to turn off the sound because it keeps on going.
Like a sonar.
Yeah. It's like, stop. But it's quick, it's fast, and it's thorough.
I did stop subscribing to Envision.
I have not encountered that issue with Seeing AI. And it goes right to the channel, goes right to the product channel when I say, "What is this?" And it works fine. I haven't come across that issue where I get the notification to like it's a new app again.
Exactly.
No.
It does it all the time to me.
Seeing AI to me has gotten very clunky. Like if you want to switch manually from product to something else, it's like, okay, wait, jumps all over the place.
I'll try out Scanner.
Yeah, and if you get stuck on World, man, you can like get lost on that one because for some reason it won't move out of that World channel for a while. You have to like keep swiping and swiping to get it move out of there. So the shortcut works great because that's really the only reason why I use Seeing AI for the product scanner. Otherwise, I'm using Voice Dream Scanner for everything else.
You were going to say something there, Serena.
I was going through my subscriptions the other day and I still had a subscription to Envision AI, and I actually opted to cancel that because I don't use it anymore. Because it used to be my backup when Seeing AI wouldn't work, but it's probably been 2 months since I've needed that backup. So I just ditched it.
Yeah. I did a little experiment with 3 of them, and Voice Stream Scanner seems to really come out on top. What's really nice about it is it just automatically says play, and they have some nice voices in there. It's just so automatic. The user interface is just so slick. And then I go over to Seeing AI, and it's like, okay. And I fumble around at the bottom sometimes. Then I think I'm on it, and all of a sudden it's like going, boo, bright light, all this other stuff.
Well, speaking of voices, I have a question. The one little accessibility tidbit that was actually, I don't know where it came from, is that there are some new voices coming to iOS 16 to be used with voiceover, including Eloquence, which is most famously used with probably JAWS and NVDA right now. I'm curious, Jeff, when before your phone got bricked, did you get to test out those voices or?
Yeah, it took me back about 7 years, like Reed. It was like turning on an Atari game or something like that. And you go, oh, I remember that. It's like.
See, and I use the Eloquence voice in my JAWS personally and at work because it's just so fast.
What voice do you use?
Just the regular, like
Reed, Paul. Yeah.
No, not Paul, but it's just the Eloquence one.
Yeah, Reed was there, and I know it's pretty robust and everything, but it was like...
it's so responsive.
Yeah, so I quickly went back to Alex.
Were there any others that were similar to Alex in regards to... Because you can tell, because Alex is by far the most robust one as far as how much space it takes up, because it's like 800 and something, whatever it's called, almost a gig. Were there any others that were close to that size that seemed like they would be as responsive?
I didn't explore a lot, but when you first download the beta, the voices are something that's in the background that doesn't get priority right away, and they start filling in later. Like after a day or two, everything's really working good, and some people were complaining they don't have this voice or that voice, but it populates later on. Like when you're upgrading from a previous backup, all of a sudden your apps are just waiting.
Takes it a while.
Yeah. So those get priority, and I think those voices in the accessibility corridor are like, next, wait, you guys get in line.
And that's if you've opted to download that particular voice.
But I did notice I had to download Alex again. So when I got the whole update and everything was back to scratch. I had to get Alex back in 873, something like that.
It's huge. But he's my favorite.
In the US, it said Eloquence, and I tapped on it, and there's about, I don't know, maybe about 10 different voices there. But mine, I was playing around with it, and some things happened with some of my apps, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. So I wanted to get back out of it. So it bricked. I then hooked it up to my computer, plugged it into the back, and I went to the Finder, went down to my phone, and it let me restore it to a previous backup. That didn't work, so I went back to factory settings. Then once I had it rebooted running from there, then I
did the whole thing again.
Then I went to one of my last backups and updated it.
It's scary when that happens.
I was off the grid for about 3 hours. It's like crazy. I heard birds tweeting, a whistle on a train blowing. I was outside.
Try to put it on your 10s Max or 10 Max.
I don't have that anymore.
I have a 10 and I have an iPhone 10 that I specifically kept so that I could be able to, when the public beta comes out, just play around with stuff and not have to do the whole back and forth when I get mad at the beta type stuff.
When I did my 12 upgrade, I traded it in, and that's when we went through that whole debate about it's really stupid. Well, I won't say I was stupid, but it's not a wise thing to do a trade-in because you just paid $600-700. And then all of a sudden you just trade it in, and then you just start your payments over again. It's like, wait a second, who got the better end of this deal? And if you want to test betas, hang on to that phone.
It's iPhone 8 or newer that 16 is going to work on now.
7 got booted.
The 6, the 6S, which granted, those are very old phones now. But even the 8's not super new.
Well, like the Mac Ventura, that draws the line at the 2017 MacBook Pros and the 2018 iMacs.
Wow. That doesn't seem that old for a Mac.
Clock is ticking. Well, do you remember when they went to Pentium? In 2 years, they didn't support any of the old ones. So it's like 2023, my new computer. Makes me wonder. But I'm sure there's lots of stuff that's just going to still work for a while. No candy. My 2015 MacBook Pro won't go to Ventura, so I won't be able to unsend my mail once it's sent, or messages.
Oh, this is one of the features where I was like, okay, you literally stole this from Google, but that's fine. Like Google, you've been able to unsend an email. It's not 15 minutes because that's an excessive amount of time for an email to try to unsend it. It's like 30 seconds, but you catch it quick. Like I've had to unsend stuff before, and that 30 seconds is enough because you recognize like that you sent it to somebody wrong pretty quick. The iMessage unsend thing is pretty interesting because I just think of the documentation that iMessages give, and 15 minutes seems like a long time to go back and edit or unsend something. I don't know if how you all feel, but that feels long.
I mean, you could send it, have a hot dog, put relish mustard ketchup on it, come back in and wipe yourself off with a napkin.
You completely cuss somebody out and then say that never happened.
Poof.
What do you think about that, Kelly?
Well, because I'm a little bit confused because on Outlook, I can recall a message. And if the person has not opened it, the person doesn't see it. They just see that I recall the message. So is this similar to that? Is that what unsend does?
The difference is I think, and I guess we'll have to see, maybe some YouTube videos of those playing with it in real life. But I know I've seen recalled messages from Outlook. And even when I didn't open it, it's still kind of weird because you still get that message that says like, Callie Gray recalled this message. I think the way this would work is it would just never have been sent, which is weird to me because 15 minutes is so long. And maybe it's different for mail, but I don't know. Like that's a long time for something to be sitting in someone's inbox and then all of a sudden disappear. It just is scary to me.
Yeah.
In reading, it says that they will be able to know that you unsent something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then they stole that from Outlook too.
We're getting to a point where these devices, all the tips and tricks that they're doing to everything like that, I think we're reaching this pinnacle of what more is going to entice you to get a 14 or a 15 iPhone. It's like all these things, LiDAR. Some people bid on that one, but where'd that get them? Mm-hmm. And now they have all this little unsend, resend, edit. So it sits on the server. It technically gives you a thing that you can now download it to your phone if you're running iOS 16. Then if you edit the whole thing, it changes it there, and that's what they can draw from. So it's kind of like these file things that you introduced me to with Google, Serena.
The collaborative.
Yeah, where we're working on a document, and it's kind of like sitting in the cloud, and we're throwing our words at it until you really download it. That's what I think these messages are doing.
But that's another thing they stole from Google and Microsoft. Like Google came out with the collaborative documents years ago, and now Apple's acting like they're brand new. And
yeah, but will they ever put bullets in the menu bar? I hate that.
Will they ever do what?
When you're in Pages, like a document.
Oh, yeah, how it's a pain to do any formatting. Pages is the worst word processing software there ever was.
Yeah. But back to WWDC, I really like some of the things that they're doing. It's interesting. It's more visual to me. I think the thing with the parents and the kids, that thing is really cool, that it's going to be easier because there's been instances that have happened lately. Callie just sends out that thing. Maybe the 31 cheeseburgers and the $2,500 won't happen as easily now.
But the thing is, the parents have to remember to do it. It was always there, but they have to remember to do it. And I like how you can adjust it as the child gets older. I think what you want a child to see if they have an iPhone when they're 10 is going to be different than when they become a teenager. I think you want to give them a little bit more access at 13 than they will have at 10.
But that's another thing. They said that if you don't want to keep up with this, like say you don't have 8 kids, so you're just used to it. Mm-hmm. Maybe you only have 1 or 2 kids and you don't want to do it all the time. Then it'll adjust it to the age appropriateness of the kids. So now Apple knows the age of your kid, probably has a picture of them, I don't know. I see this privacy thing is like, they're all about it, but they got all this information about you, your tendencies. Like, what is that now? Pay later?
Apple Pay Later.
Yeah. Apple Pay Later.
But that's not unique either. I'm so frustrated. It's Sezzle and Afterpay, and I'm sure there's another one that I'm just not thinking of. Like those have been around for years where you can divide it into 4 equal payments over, 6 to 8 weeks. It's not new.
They just polish the apple a little bit, don't they?
Apparently. Even PayPal has it where you can divide them amongst, multiple weeks. I never do it because I'm like, I'd rather just pay it in full. If I'm buying it, then I feel like it hurts more to have money come out every 2 weeks for something I bought 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But, they're not making any fees on it. They're not making any money on it, but they're making money through the merchants. And what they're really doing is, and they said it right in the article, and you can find these in the show notes, and they're stalking all your emotions, all the stuff that you're doing, all your tendencies and all that stuff. That information is how they're going to advertise to you, even though you probably have advertisement tracking and all that stuff shut off on Apple. But boy, they really found a way, didn't they?
Well, I'm not one of those people who believe that Apple is not going to make money from this the old fashioned way, which I'm basically thinking they're becoming like a payday loan company by doing this in some aspects. Because you got people who are going to overextend and they haven't said what the penalties are if you don't make that payment. Because like with a payday loan, if you don't make your payment, you get zinged even more and you get more and you get more. And pretty soon, that $100 thing that you purchase is going to cost you $50 in late fees because you didn't make your payments on time. So that's my thinking behind it, that they know exactly what they're doing and how they're going to make their money, because there's a lot of money to be made there.
But on this one, they said they do a soft credit check on you and everything. So it seems like it's just, this is minor stuff. But they said that you miss a payment on something like this, it could affect your credit score.
I didn't realize they were going to be doing a soft credit check when they did that too, because they're scheduled automatically. So it's not like you have to go in there and like actively pay. But that is a really good point. Like, what does happen if you have insufficient funds for payment 3 and 4 or something like that?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of it because, like, there are a couple of places where I shop online, like at Aveda and Clinique. And, when I check out, they have the offer, you can pay it over a course of 4 payments. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm just like going to pay it off here and like get on with my life. I don't want to see something being taken out. And plus, I don't like anybody taking anything out of my checking account automatically. I'm not that person. I want to have control over when my money leaves my account.
Well, I set up automatic payments and they come out on the day that I know it's happening.
We have a lot of auto pay as well, but only certain things. Like there's certain things that you just don't want auto paid. Like you want to know how much that's going to be.
The electric, the gas. No, I don't want my dog food or cat food and cat litter to come out automatically. That's why in Amazon, when they set up, you can have this stuff every month. It's like, wait a second.
We definitely do subscribe and save, but it's only like maybe 4 or 5 things. And it's things that we truly would need to order every month or every 2 months, whatever, it happens to be.
And you trialed and figured this out. It's not like you were perfect. Like, it would have been great a couple of years back to have toilet paper arrive every week.
Oh, they cancanceled all those anyway.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who subscribe on toilet paper who didn't get it during the height of the pandemic. So,
but it is worth it when you have like the subscribe and save on Amazon. I think it's if you do 5 or more items, you get 15% off of all of those items. So that's a substantial savings. Depending on what you're buying, some things are really well priced on Amazon, others maybe not so much. But if it happens to be items that are competitively priced, plus you're getting that 15% off. And then if you're like us and you use the Prime credit card, you get another 5% in rewards. Like it's very incentivizing.
All the time now when I'm on Amazon, I always go see who it's being sold by and delivered. Sometimes it's sold by this company, but it's
fulfilled by Amazon.
Yeah, I like that because that means they're stocking those bins and Amazon's distributing because they got a good sale thing going.
And you can return it easily if something happens.
But if it's coming from, Fred's Backyard Sales, nothing against Fred's out there, but, Fred's Backyard Sales, FBS, and it's fulfilled by Fred's Backyard Sales, then you start really digging in and you can see the refund policy, like you go down and it must be this, must be that, and you got to pay for shipping and it gets nasty. I like when it goes Amazon, like that's what I like because then it's just boom.
I think I have one thing that I get that, and I think it used to not be fulfilled by Amazon. It used to just come straight from the third party. And I think they recently changed that model because now it does come fulfilled by Amazon because I think we might have subscribed to it. I'll have to look. And that's a very particular leave-in conditioner that just works. Like I wear my hair in braids and it works amazing on your scalp. Like when you have your hair in braids, it's so easy to apply and my hair is growing like crazy. So that's something where when it's a product that I trust and it works really well, I don't mind getting it fulfilled by somebody different as long as the shipping's free. But other stuff, I don't.
Okay, you got to hook a sister up. What are you using?
I'm going to have to find the link and send it to you because I don't really know what it's called.
Okay.
So, because I just reorder it. I think I found it just by accident and I love it. It just works really well.
Nice.
It's specifically for like protective hairstyles and stuff. So,
okay, you got the box braids or you did something different?
I do singles. So it's literally just like they're just regularly braided. And then at the bottom, it's like crimped curly at the bottom.
Oh, nice, Serena. Sounds beautiful. Great.
Yep.
I did the same.
Of course.
No, I'm talking about the shampoo. What I did this time is my shampoo and my body wash was running out at the same time. So I went to Amazon and I turned on the scanner. So I scanned them and it was so easy, except for, box of 4, you got to watch for that too.
Some of that stuff is sold in weird quantities.
Yeah, I was looking for my exact same quantity. I get that large, 40 ounce, 32 ounce,
The
whatever it
Costco
is.
one.
Yeah, family fun, But I got the smaller ones, but they came in like, I don't know, 16 ounce or 12 ounce, but 4 of them. And I thought, you know what? That's fine.
It's probably better in the shower though, so you don't drop it on your toe and
Yeah. Well, it could help you float.
pick
if
up
you're
less
drowning.
room.
I'm just laughing hearing Jeff say body wash. That just I'm just picturing a shower commercial with Dove. I'm just like
The Old Spice commercials.
with the suds running down.
I
your
do get the
chest.
Old Spice, but mine's the Swagger scent.
Oh my
Swagger is
god,
the best. I love that scent. That was actually hard to come by, Jeff. Like that one at Christmas time they had it, so I bought it for Charles as a gift set. But I don't think it's an easy scent to just buy at the stores anymore. I don't know why. They have all these weird scents now.
I took 2 of them, took the pump off the other bottle and dumped them into them. Yeah, I like the pump because in the shower, you just pump, and there you go. You got it.
You're so silly.
I don't want to pick it up, open that cap
Oh
up,
my
and find which
goodness.
side of
So
the...
much work.
so much work.
What do you mean? Sometimes your hands have soap on them, then soapy bottle, and you're trying to get that cap open, and then...
You're
I
going to
don't-
drop it on your toe. You just wait.
Yeah, thanks.
By the way, Kelly,
Mhm.
all that laughing I did the other day, and I hit my shin on the dishwasher today.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Do not
Yeah.
leave the dishwasher open, people.
I know.
Oh, I
know.
didn't leave it open. Like Charles was unloading it, and I knew he was unloading it, but you just don't,
Think?
you know somebody's doing something, and then
Yeah.
you still. But I've tripped over it myself when I've left it open myself, though, too.
Yeah.
So
It was all on me. I was like loading it and like moving stuff around on the countertop, and I forgot it was open, and bam, there it goes.
it hurts
Yeah.
so bad.
It hurts so bad.
And then you're
Yeah.
like, did I move the door? Did
Yeah.
I break it?
And then after it was running, I dropped something on the floor and I banged my head on the stainless steel bar on the dishwasher. I'm
Mhm.
like, God, this is just like not a day. And I ran into the door jams. It was just like, oh my God.
I've had days like that, Callie. That's why I was laughing because I
Oh.
actually thought it was Jeff, which is funny.
God. Ah.
I saw that exchange on the text, and I was like, wait, whoa. That wasn't me.
Because it happened to be Jeff's birthday, and then Jeff comments with his typical Jeff humor of
Yeah.
quoting songs. Like, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
just read them out of order. So I thought Jeff had sent them all, and I was like, "That's not a fun way to spend your birthday."
Oh, yeah, I did the B-52s. I remember.
Mhm.
Tin Roof.
Rusted.
Did you guys... Do you like saying
You
Frederici?
guys, you
Two
guys.
gals.
Really?
Mhm.
No, I'm just giving you a
Yeah.
hard time. I'm being a jerk.
I like these events this way. I didn't like the stage as much. I like these events and what they have to talk about.
Oh yeah, because you don't have the stupid audience cheering every other word.
Yeah. Yeah. And the audio description is very good. So
Mhm. But weird thing. So if you go to apple.com and try to, well, I mean, I'm sure after the fact, they have a separate link for the audio described version. But if you just go to apple.com on a PC, there's no way to turn on audio description. Like there's no button, no anything. There's an ASL stream, but not an audio description stream.
wow.
But then when I moved to my iPhone and my iPad, the audio description just
Boom.
worked.
Automatic.
I think it's because of the setting. So it's interesting that if you join from anything but an Apple device, you don't have a way of turning on audio description.
I hope they fix all that because, they talked about Matter coming. They talked about in the iOS to have the home app where Matter, where Google, all the other companies, the big giants are going to make everything, all the smart devices. I think we talked about this last time, but they're going to make them all collaborate with each other, cross platforms and everything like that. I just wish that stuff would start working out a little bit better because like Google and Amazon really go at it sometimes when you're looking up a Nest product on Amazon. Good luck.
Did you notice that they didn't specifically mention what other companies? Like there was another place that they did happen to mention a company, like they mentioned Google in another area, and I can't remember what, but when they were talking about Matter, they were like, other very popular manufacturers.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they mentioned Google and Microsoft on the pass keys
They did. You're right.
that they were working on. So that was it. Yeah.
Yep.
I like the passkeys idea.
I still don't fully understand how it will work. That confuses me.
Your device has the key inside of it, and it uses your thumbprint or fingerprint or your facial ID or two-factor authentication to get it to work, just like you do when you use your keyboard to open your laptop.
So if I go to like Amazon.com on a PC and I type in my email address, it's going to send a notification to my iPhone to authenticate the login. Is that what would happen?
No, I think once you are logged into your computer and you're good, I think that's how it works. I don't know.
But the first time, brand new, first time going, like, is it going to say, how do you want to log in? Do you want to use passkey? Okay, we've sent this to your registered passkey device. Like, is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, it's going to be based off your device. It's not going to be up in the cloud somewhere where someone can hack in and intercept or something like that.
That will take a very long time to integrate.
But then again, like if your iPhone is stolen, since it's on that device, if you lose it or if it's stolen, what happens to those passkeys?
They said it was your Face ID or your Touch ID that would enable it, though.
Okay.
So they wouldn't be able to do anything.
I do believe if you got the heads of Google, heads of Apple, and all the other people working on something of this nature, plus I read where the United States Department of Security was applauding this initiative, I think it's going to be really good, because I got to admit, passwords are a thing of the past in a way because of the vulnerability of them, that people can actually trick you or trick someone, into using them. Or if you used it here, they'll quickly go check 7,000 other places with the algorithm, and see if you've logged in anywhere else. So with the pass keys, that's going to be interesting. They were talking about the keys that you can put in your wallet, like your house keys. Say you have a lock on your door, or other things that you can actually say, hey, I won't be there, but why don't you just grab the key? I just sent it to you. That's something
That's scary.
interesting. Well, I don't know. It's not like they can resend it, can they? I mean, it's like, hey.
I'm sure you can just deactivate it when they shouldn't have access anymore to you.
Right. You might give them the key for an hour. Like some people can track you on Find My, and you can give them permission like forever or for the day. Say you're going to a reunion or something like that. But it's just interesting where this stuff is all going. And, when my phone got locked up and I got to start all over and do everything, I was really thinking about the security of things and the privacy that you have and everything. But believe me, when your phone's locked up, you're naked. You're like, whoa. I was chilly.
Well, and we don't have any landlines in our home. So we have 3 iPhones in here because I have my work iPhone and then my husband has his phone. But still, it took us a long time to not have a landline because I was always like, what if my cell phone won't work?
I was thinking, okay, I'll go to the Apple store and I'll get this all fixed up. And I thought, wait, how do I get an Uber? Whoa, how do I come home? I don't have an iPhone.
Mind blown.
It was...
Just so you know, you can order an Uber from your computer, from your laptop.
Well, I'm not going to carry that with me.
Well, no, you can order it to get to the Apple store.
Yeah, they would fix it for you and then you'd have your phone.
I had to do that one time. I ordered the Uber from my laptop, went to the Apple store and got it fixed. Everything started loading there. And once the Uber app was loaded, I ordered an Uber back home. So you can do that.
Callie, 2 episodes ago, you were talking, but if I have to go out to the garbage, I'm bringing my phone with me. I'm going to go across town.
That's a safety issue, though.
That's a safety issue, though,
Well,
Joe.
I'm going across town here to the Apple store.
If I had a flip phone, I would have, I would take my flip phone with me. That's just a safety issue.
Oh, no. I was naked.
If the only reason that she's leaving, quote unquote, without her phone because the phone's broken is to go get the phone fixed, then I think it is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
When was the last time any of you left your house without a phone?
I have forgotten it by mistake, and like I've left it.
Not on purpose.
Well, yeah, okay. On purpose.
Never.
Never.
Mm-mm. I don't even go to my backyard without it. And I have not acted as though, because you just never know.
I've been 3 miles away and I said, turn the car around. Turn this Uber around.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure he was irritated.
I tipped him well.
Yeah, I take my phone with me now because especially now, because whenever I'm in someone else's car, I'm not driving. So I'm depending upon someone else to make sure I'm going from point A to the point B I want to get to. And since I don't trust anybody, I just always make sure I have my phone with me and I'm running GPS. But that's me. But if I had like a car, and could see and drive again, I'd be okay with a flip phone. I truly would.
WWDC, spatial sound. They have to scan and do a 3D imagery of your face so it can get you better sound. Explain that one to me, Serena.
I think that this is a preface for new AirPods Pros. I think that they're probably going to change things. Maybe it'll be like I don't think it'll ever be like a bone conduction thing, because I think people like being able to close off to the world with a noise cancellation. But I think this is a first step to enhancing sound in a newer design, maybe in the fall. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
But what does the spatial have to do with anything of your face?
Well, it's probably looking more at the shape of your ears, honestly, because everyone's ears are different. So maybe it's that.
Or how wide your face is, between the distance between ear to ear, maybe. I mean, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in your ears. It's like... it's not like the sound is coming from anywhere around you. It's in. I don't get that.
It could be mapping out how far away to virtualize, like how far away something is. It's at a 1 o'clock versus a 7 o'clock, like a sound. So maybe it's okay. This person has a large head, so let's make this feel a little bit closer. I don't know. Guess we'll have to see what it really does when it comes out.
It'd be neat to listen to someone else's AirPods if they're sterile cleaned. And
I was like, that's gross, Jeff.
Gross.
Especially the pros.
freshly tipped, to put them on to see if, like Jay Leno's face, he had the larger jaw.
My goodness.
Or someone else that has something different, and then put theirs on and go, oh, wow, that's totally different. Would you notice? I mean, they seem to make it seem like it does matter. So they have you set up your 3D face. I don't get it.
Okay, how much of this is actually reality versus like really clever marketing, where there's really nothing changed, but they're saying like, tell people we're doing this, but really nothing has changed. We're just going to like make it sound like this is like something new that we're doing, but it really doesn't do anything.
Well, that's how I felt when they were talking about SharePlay. Because I vividly remember when they demonstrated SharePlay at WWDC last year, they were like, look, you can SharePlay in your messages and you can start it here and everyone just syncs up. But then this year they said the same thing about SharePlay. I'm like, I've never used SharePlay. I've never really tested it. I don't know if maybe we'll do a Blind Abilities movie night or something, Jeff. I don't know. I haven't had a reason to SharePlay.
If someone sends me a 4-minute audio message, I'm going, really? Come on, man. And now you want to SharePlay a movie with me? Whoa.
Well, I mean, if I was on a trip for like a week or something, like for work or something, like it could be cool to like watch a movie with my husband or with my kid, like in sync.
Oh, yeah.
I could see true. Like there's definitely applications for it. It's just that I thought that they could already do the things that they said it was doing. I'm not new for this. I say this almost every year. Like I thought we could already do that. So I guess maybe I just don't understand the nuances between the way that they demonstrated it last year in 2021 versus this year, because I really thought that you could already SharePlay in messages.
Did you know on FaceTime you can share your screen now?
That was part of the SharePlay thing too.
Yeah, I just came across that. I was on a call with my daughter and I was flicking around just trying to, I don't do it on my Mac that often, but I did just to do it. And all of a sudden I saw share screen and I was thinking to myself, it just makes you wonder, some of these developments that they're coming along with. It's like, wow, like Be My Eyes is like a FaceTime call, but with someone that is volunteering. And Ira takes it to another level where they're trained and stuff.
Exactly.
And, then they have teams where they can share, it's just interesting where all this, I don't know, I wish they would all come together and do it right.
Well, you remember last year when they changed all these things about FaceTime, where they made it where you can generate a FaceTime link and you could, all these other more advanced features where you can share screen and annotate and all this
32
stuff.
people in a group.
Well, I think that they were trying to step it up and be more like Zoom or Google Meet is what that was. And I don't know why it's limited. Maybe on the Mac, it's more than 32 by now. But I think that that's what they were trying to do is, hey, everyone that's using Apple computers are still using Zoom or Google Meet. Like we need to have them staying in our ecosystem as much as possible.
32. That'd be like my whole classroom in 7th grade. 32.
That's a lot of middle schoolers all at once.
Yeah. Honestly, this update, it's all about the iOS and the OS and everything. Something I saw on the Ventura is that you will be able to use your iPhone's camera. They call it continuity camera. And you can use your iPhone's camera while you're using your Mac.
That's the webcam.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I sent to you when they demonstrated that?
What?
So they had, and I don't remember who was demonstrating it, but they had him sit the phone on the stand. And I was like, I wonder how much that stand costs to put your phone on just to
Oh,
be
yeah.
the webcam.
Made by
Yeah.
Apple.
Uh-huh. But then they mentioned, like, right after I talked all that crap, they're like, we're working with Belkin to come up with stands that sit at the perfect height or whatever. And it's like, this is so unnecessary. Just put a better camera on whatever, you know.
Well, no, I think that is actually pretty cool if you have vision. Like I said, if you have sight, this is like an excellent thing because from what I understand, you can get, it gives you the ring like light effect, gives you great lighting. And like if you wanted to show somebody something on your desk, who would have to have vision in order to see it unless they're going to just give you a very detailed description about what they're doing on their desk. It's actually pretty nifty, but I don't see, how anyone in the blindness community would use it, but I probably am wrong.
I could be wrong because I'm not an engineer, but I don't know how often people are trying to show people what's physically on their desk anymore. Like we work in such a virtual world with like documents and presentations and even schematics are virtual. Like I don't know how often it happens where they're like, hey, let's take a look at my desk now. Like, I don't know.
Well, I don't think it'll be often, but I just think it's just a pretty cool feature. I mean, like a lot of things people aren't using like all the time, but they're nifty features for those who find them interesting and fun. So, I mean, the demonstration he gave, if he wanted to like show a card trick to his nephew or something on his desk, do something like that. Or if you were crocheting or doing something with knitting and you wanted to show somebody, what it is that you were doing, that would work there also. So.
Or if you wanted to show how well organized your cables are for your computer network system.
Obviously, Jeff is very proud of his desk organization.
I actually mounted my power strip to the bottom of my desk in the back, so it faces down.
That's smart.
Oh, nice.
So the power strip's
How
there.
did you mount it? Is it Velcro or?
No, 3M makes this foam tape.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and I just ran a strip across it on both sides and stuck it on there.
That's smart because I have cords that I like the way my HomePod minis are set up because they came with not very long cords. I keep kicking one of them because it kind of has to run.
They're braided.
They are, but it's just I wish it was like about a foot longer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I just have your basic power strip, and then I put the tape on the back and set it where I wanted
That's
it.
super smart.
And so only one goes down, then all the cords go to it, and then I kind of gather the cords, and then I use those little Velcro strips that sometimes come with cables, and I just put those around, tidy it up a little bit.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
What do you do with the big bulky, my docking station, for example, has one of those, I don't even know what they're called, but the bricks where like a cord goes to the brick and then the actual power cord comes out. Like, how did you tidy those up? Or do you not have any things where it's like that?
What I would do is first I would check on the bottom. Sometimes they do have those little holes, like those keyhole things, like it's big on one end, small on the other. You could put a little screw in the bottom there, slide it in or slide it over, and it locks in. The other thing, what I do is I shorten up the cord and I set it behind my computer area.
The actual brick thing?
Brick. I set it there if they have the cord. And then since the power strip is just on the other side, I can just plug it in underneath there. Another thing, if you run out of area on your power strip, I have these little cables. They're about 6 inches long, and they just have a plug, and then they have a receiver. So like some of these devices that you plug in, you can't plug one side by side because they're fat,
Yeah, because they're huge.
Yeah. And so I use those. So I have 2 or 3 of those in a row so they can sit off to the side now. And I plug 3 in a row so I don't lose a spot on the strip.
That's a fire hazard, right?
No,
You're not supposed to plug an extension into a
No,
power.
I didn't. No, what I'm doing is I'm just plugging it in 4 inches away. I'm not adding another device to that strip. It's just.
But it's still a plug into a plug, right?
Yeah, but that's okay. No, what they don't want you
when
to do.
Jeff's desk catches on fire.
They don't want you to tree off one little spot and add 3 to 1. They don't want you to do that. All I'm doing is moving the big fat stuff out of the way 3 inches so then I can have more.
Gotcha.
If I have 8 devices and there's 8 plugs, that's what I still have. I'm not coming out at the end of the day saying there's 14 things plugged
You're
into
not
8
Griswolding
devices.
it.
No, it's not Christmas time for
I
that.
just keep thinking of A Christmas Story and
Yeah.
And I wish that they would get audio description for that. That'd be awesome. But I've seen it so many times and it's been described to me so many times where the dad's like, they're setting up the Christmas tree and he plugs in the tree and then of course shorts out because he's got like 16 million extension cords plugged into other extension cords and like electrical tape and
oh my gosh.
There's another thing that they're bringing live text to videos. Put it on pause and you can extract the text from that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what I would use that for.
Maybe if you're sighted and you're in college and you want to, plagiarize
like a
things
PowerPoint.
or something like that. Yeah.
That could be useful actually for note taking if you're on a Zoom meeting or something and you're like, let me just grab the text off this PowerPoint. That actually would be really useful.
There's another thing that you can do, and what they have is you can touch and hold and take like a dog out of a picture and drag it and put it somewhere else.
That I'd have to really see how that works, especially with voiceover.
Like how it extracts text. Like say all of a sudden you saw a nice car. So, you can touch and hold on the car and slide it over and it'll drop it into like your document or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm. That's super cool.
Yeah, it's like, remember those little things like you peel it off here and you stick it on here and you can put dresses and hats and stuff on. I forget what that I forget what it was called. But
peeling stick.
Yeah.
But, for voiceover users, it might not on the surface sound like it's like that awesome of a feature. But in order for the AI to be smart enough to figure out, like, if they click here and drag that's a car and we're going to extract it, it's got to identify that particular object. So it's probably going to make image recognition better too.
The image recognition works pretty well. Like somebody took a picture of like my cat, even though it identifiers dog on the wooden floor, but it was like, I'm like, okay, so that's Charlie sitting there. It'd be cool, like to be able to just extract her from the photo and send it off somewhere. But I don't know how that's going to work for me being visually impaired. I hate to be the negative Nancy of the group here, but
And then in the maps, I heard they're bringing look around in there. I always liked look around. Like if you're at a hotel or something and you're having a coffee, you want to just check things out. It's always as the crow flies, but you get an idea of what stores are around you. Instead of walking around outside trying to find things, you can actually take a look around. I like that.
And here I thought we could already do that.
Yeah,
again.
I thought we could too. I thought we could already do that also.
I think it's more of a visual improvement because they said they were expanding it to more cities. So I think that, and I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking it's pretty realistic, the look around to, visually for people.
And when you're setting up routes, now you can add more destinations.
I think, was it up to 15 stops?
Yeah, 15 stops. Wow.
That could be helpful though.
Are you delivering groceries or what?
Well, when we were looking at properties, there were some days where we looked up to 6 properties in one day and we had a specific schedule.
Boom, boom, boom.
So that would have been really cool because it said you can share those routes too. So it would have been really cool if our realtor was like, here's where we're going. Here's all the stuff. Here you go. Like that would have been nice.
Yeah. What you doing, honey? Quiet. I'm trying to set up the routes.
Don't mess me up.
Roots. It seems like there's a lot of stuff, and it's like setting up a to-do list or something on your computer. By the time you get it all set up and fidget around with it for so long, it's like some of these things, I don't know if I'm going to be able to set up 21 lock screens with different scenarios or different moods and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out. Like, let's get back together 6 months after it's all out and see if we mastered it.
You know what I'm excited about?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, we know.
Here it comes.
Tell everybody.
Serena is so excited. It's the smallest, tiniest feature, but I'm sure I use direct touch typing, as many of you already know. I am super excited because they're adding haptic feedback to the keyboard, which I don't know why they didn't always have.
So now to feel like you're really hitting keys?
So when you're using direct touch typing, especially when maybe it's on silent mode or you're in a loud place, sometimes it's really hard to tell if you've actually hit a letter or something like that. So it'd just be super nice to also have that haptic feedback. I'm very excited about that.
Yay, Serena.
It's the small things.
It is.
Have you ever been on a phone call where the automatic voice is talking to you, and after you give their information, they say 1 second, and all of a sudden you hear this
Yeah.
I think it's Apple that does that actually when you call. I know it sounds like they're typing in a way.
Yeah.
I really do think it's Apple that does that when you call the retail store.
Does that actually calm us down? I should set my heart monitor up to see if that actually calms me down. Wow.
They should make the voices feel more realistic and see too. I know exactly what you're talking about, though.
Hey, I've been playing with my HomePod minis.
They sound so good now.
You can just ask to play music, or my music or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into my home app on my phone and it said HomePod mini off. And I said, well, what?
I didn't know you could turn it off.
I tapped on it and it said on, and I just waited. And all of a sudden, my voice came on and some music was playing. It was playing a podcast from about 7 years ago where I just did the intro for these people and the outro. But I have, what do they call that? For $25 a year, iTunes Match. So anything
is
that
that
was.
even still a thing anymore?
Oh.
Yeah, it's $25. That's why I'm stopping it.
Are you the only one that pays for it, Mr. Thompson?
Do you know why
How
Tim
long have
Cook
you had
dresses so
Apple
nice?
Music?
Because I'm sending him
Because you're paying
$25 a year
for
every
You're
December.
You're paying for his
Really?
left sock
my
every
God.
year.
Anyways, I'm stopping that now. I went into my subscriptions. I'm not going to have it where all the music that you used to steal from all those little
You're
apps
talking
and
like
everything like
Napster
that.
and other illegal download sites, Jeff Thompson.
There was Bear Share,
At night
Napster,
you load up 70 songs that you want to download and wake up in the morning and there they are.
Kazaa.
I never did that. I would have been too scared to do it because I would just know the FBI is coming after me. So I never did it.
There was some monitoring that was done because we had I can't remember if this happened when it was Xfinity or CenturyLink as our internet provider, but we stopped when we got an email that said, we've noticed this on your network. We recommend you stop. So this was years ago. Like this was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
Right before, maybe right at the same time that like I used to have Rhapsody as my streaming provider, like right when Rhapsody and Spotify were popular. So it wasn't a difficult transition, but it was like, I guess we got to stop.
Well, my venture, this is like, it's funny now, but it wasn't when it happened. But the statute of limitations has like expired. I am sure. I had what they called an illegal cable box at one point.
Oh, who didn't have one of those?
Where you like plug it in and you get like
had every channel.
everything. Yeah. And
It's
bought
like
it.
a black box.
Yeah, I bought it from a person who I worked with. And then one day,
Jeez.
one day we're sitting in the control room and we're watching this story that our investigative reporter was doing. And we see the guy in handcuffs. I'm like, oh my God. And half the people in the news in the control room
Run,
were
Bob.
like, we
run.
We're like,
gotta-
I gotta go home real quick.
half the people in the control room were like, we got to get rid of our boxes tonight, man.
Some person walking by the trash cans that night was like, woohoo, lucky day.
Really? I came home that night, unplugged it, and I threw it in the dumpster.
Oh, that's
like,
hilarious.
oh. It was like so
I could
funny.
just see the whole apartment building, windows opening, and these boxes flying out, hitting the sidewalk.
I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I feel like everyone knew someone that had one of those.
I
Like,
think so. It was just like, yeah, you plug it in, you got like everything. It was
you have like all the HBOs,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
3 of them back then. Like,
Yeah.
I've got HBO 1, 2, and 3.
three. Yeah. Okay, you guys were talking about how great HomePod is right now. An issue that I'm having right now, every single time I ask my iPod to play Love is Bigger Than Anything in Its Way by U2, it plays the remix. It plays remixes more than I ever want. They're
That
just
is
like,
weird.
every time I ask it to play, Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds, it plays like some 12-inch version that's like 17 minutes long. And I'm like, what the heck?
It's probably because it's playing the more recent ones. What you might want to do is go into your Apple Music on your phone and just go through all the U2 albums and hard press on them and click the heart, like it'll say love, and see if it surfaces those more than, because that's how I make my playlist is I'll say I love a song, and a long time ago on my Mac via iTunes, I created a smart playlist where it'll automatically add all the songs I love to a playlist. Couldn't tell you how to do that again now, but maybe that might help.
I just wish there was some way where I could turn off remixes. I don't want a remix played,
Mhm.
Hey, Callie,
Yes.
don't you
Forget about me. No, the song is giving the remix is Love is Bigger Than Anything in Its Way by U2. That plays like
Maybe
some
say the
strange
year
remix.
that it came out.
Oh, no,
too.
no. She did say, don't you forget about me. She did say
No,
that.
I did.
You
After
just said a million other things with it.
yeah.
I was stuck on it. That was a good song.
Oh, Oh gosh, but yeah.
But maybe say what year the original version came out when you ask it to play it, maybe.
I'll say play single version, and it still does the remix. I'm like, what the heck?
You know what you could do when it's playing? Say, I don't like this song, and see. Maybe it won't play it ever again.
Because sometimes he gets really nasty with me when I do something. Because he'll say, well, I'm doing my best or something like that, or I'm like, geez Louise.
I have never heard my HomePod say that, Callie. That's a little concerning.
Yes.
I've never once heard my HomePod say, I'm doing my best.
My Sonos sometimes forgets about Apple Music and it says, we don't have that on Amazon Music, but here's a playlist from that, and then all of a sudden they play songs that are similar to it. It's like,
oh,
really?
My Amazon devices do that at least every 3 months.
I hate that.
It's very frustrating. And I think it's on purpose. I think it's Amazon intentionally making it janky.
Yeah, so you got to go into your app and you got to go.
I think they want it to be inconvenient.
I haven't had that issue. It hasn't disconnected me from my...
Well, it doesn't do it on the HomePod. It's on the Amazon devices where it does it, like the Echoes.
I was going to, because my phone got messed up a little bit there and I rebooted it, I had to get my modem app back on there, the Eero. I had to go, all this other stuff. And Wemo was acting like, hey, you got a brand new house, No,
gosh, that Wemo app is not fun.
No, it's not. And it hooked up, but the Wemo app doesn't tell me it hooked up. Also, my Eero app says, hey, you just got a new thing hooked up. Oh, so I'm done? But why doesn't the app tell me I'm done? Just whatever. I hope this Matter thing, how they work together, Apple, I see how Apple Music, Amazon Music, they're always battling on to the Google devices, It's like they're fighting, I think you're right. They do kick you off and make you go back into the app and say, this is my primary Apple Music,
Ironically, so two things, like when you do go back into the app, it shows it as the primaries and you're like baffled. So then you just redo it. But then the Google one does save it. But when I ask to play something on the Google device, I rarely do because it's just a little Google Mini. So it sounds like crap. But you do ask it to play something and it's like, okay, I'll do that. And then it's like a solid 20-second delay before the song starts playing. It's a very long time.
Back in the day, 20 seconds wasn't long, but today, 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Even a CD played faster than 20 seconds. So, I mean.
Does anyone still have CDs? Do you guys get rid of all your CDs?
I do not, but I was riding with a coworker a couple weeks ago because we were traveling kind of around the state. And she was like, can you hand me the gum and the door over there? And I was like, sure. And then I was like, what is this, Cheryl? And she's like, it's my CDs. And I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God.
who still has CDs?
Well, cars do. And like in minivans and stuff, they play CDs to the kids and stuff or DVDs. Yeah, I just got rid of a bunch of DVDs and CDs to my grandkids.
Wow. I remember my very first CD that I purchased. I was so excited. And of course, the CD player cost like $500, back when they first came out. And I got my first CD. It was Sting's Nothing Like the Sun. It was like $18.98.
You're going to laugh at mine. So I got mine as a Christmas gift when I was in 6th grade.
Wow.
And it was like it had a tape deck on the top and then like this fancy little thing. You pushed a button and like this. It's so futuristic. The front face kind of pulled down and then a tray came out for you to put the CD in. It was so cool.
Oh, nice.
My first CD that I got, I think, was Aaliyah's first album, that super inappropriate album that when she's like 15 talking about age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah.
But it sounded so good. Like my parents like spent a lot on it. I'm sure it was a really good quality CD player.
Yeah. I remember listening to that. Oh, it was so wonderful.
One of my first CDs, I remember in Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA was the first CD ever made, came out. But I went and bought a CD. You could buy them as a CD player, and I went and bought it and I returned it because something was wrong with it. And I got another one. When I turned it on, the drawer popped open and Salt and Pepper was in there.
Oh, really? The push it
So
group?
somebody else already returned the one that you turned on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's
So I played it and I go, hey, oh, wait, I never really listened to these words before. Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that reminds me of another incident that we won't mention so that those who were involved can not be embarrassed. But Callie and I know.
What?
You don't remember that when he asked what a certain song meant?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And then you
yeah.
sent him to,
I
you're like, you're
remember.
gonna have to ask
Yeah.
somebody else. And then he did
Yeah.
ask us, and we were like,
not gonna do it. Not gonna touch it.
Oh, no.
that did make the podcast, but you bleeped what song you asked for. So nobody
Mhm.
knows what song it was.
Oh my gosh. Wow. But I remember, do you remember the Columbia Clearinghouse?
Yes,
Jeff?
that was the biggest.
You remember that
rip-off.
too?
Yes, because it was when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
You'd get like 10 CDs for like
for a penny.
for a penny.
For a penny.
And then they'd keep sending them, and they were lower quality too. Like they were not the top digital like recordings. Like they always sounded scratchy.
Oh my god.
Pickwick.
And BMG, I think, was the other one.
Oh, that's how I built my CD collection though. It was just like, man.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I remember ordering all them Jim Croce.
God, it was like, 20 for a penny, but then like you had to like buy 10 more for like $20. It was just like, okay, this is not a good
It
deal.
was so like they were always addressed to children. Like they were addressed to me, and I was in like 6th or 7th grade. And of course, you're like, sure, I'll fill this out and like send it right back. I don't even need postage. Here you go. And then your parents are like, why are you getting CDs in the mail? Like, what is this?
And you're like, they're free, mom and dad. They're free.
It's only a
They don't cost
penny.
a penny.
Yeah, if you filled out the matchbook back cover and signed your name to it and sent it in, you could get some weird stuff, They used to advertise everywhere. Remember the Bazooka Joe bubblegum wrappers?
Yeah.
I just remember there were comic strips in them.
Yeah. Well, if you collected those, there was points in the corner that you could then...
Do you remember Pepsi points?
No.
In the cap?
No, so a long time ago, this is so long ago, like, oh, gosh, 90s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh gosh, long ago. Oh my
Hey.
gosh. Okay.
So there's always been Kool-Aid points, which you could always turn those in, and the prizes were questionable. Like they're just junk. But the Pepsi points, when you saved up Pepsi points, they would be on 12 packs. They'd be on like some 20 ounces. Like they were everywhere. You actually got like legit good stuff. Like we got duffel bags and CD case holders. You don't remember those commercials? Like there was one where it was like, if you had 2 million Pepsi points, you get this private jet. Like, which was completely unachievable.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
they were the best. My parents would always help us send in to get the Pepsi point stuff. And like it was probably 2 or 3 years because there was a different catalog that you could go through each time and order what you wanted with your Pepsi points, which was really just their way of sending you things that had Pepsi logos all over it and free branding for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty ingenious actually, because everything that you got, had a Pepsi logo on it somewhere.
Was that General Mills with the cereal box covers? You tear off
Those ones you can get, I think they go to your school. They still do that.
They still
believe
do
it or
that.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the box top.
Yep, and the school
Yeah.
gets money for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going back further. S&H green stamps.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
I don't know what that
Those
is.
are okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Or the gold. What was those one? The gas stations used to always give you stamps, and then you fill up the thing and you get a free something, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that Subway card, man. I jammed on my Subway card back in the day.
Well, now you get stars at Starbucks. So just digitally.
Yeah. But man, how things have changed. The game is the same. It's the market to us, but they just do it in a different way now.
And if you want a star from Blind Abilities or Tech Abilities, if you want a star from Tech Abilities, give us a call at 612-367-6093. We'd love to give you a star.
How are you going to send them a star? I'm very intrigued by this. I'm going to need
How
some
are you
people to
gonna do
call
it?
us so we can see how they get stars.
It's 2022, Serena. Virtual stars. Yeah.
Well, what'd you think about all the Mac updates? The thing that they didn't even talk about too is like what's happening in tvOS. And we didn't talk about watchOS yet, actually. There's a lot in there too.
Yeah, the AFib, the sleep.
Mhm.
And I think the FDA just approved the AFib.
Yeah, they approved it right before WW.
They probably had already recorded everything.
Yeah.
They approved it right before.
Apple couldn't afford to retape that.
But can I just tell you the metrics, like with everything, like I know they have like the sleep metrics that would just keep me awake, just wondering how like my sleep patterns are. I just rather like,
What can you do about it?
I don't know. It's just too much information. It's just information overload for me. I don't want to like see metrics on everything in my life.
Well, maybe if you play a tape that plays frogs and crickets real lightly with a gentle breeze and a crackling fireplace, then check your metrics and see if you're improving.
No.
That would just stress me out. That's too much nature.
Yeah.
They got the metrics for like if you're like an endurance runner, you're running and then you're jogging and it like checks your heart. I'm like, it talks about your stride and like everything. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just-
How much up and down you're doing and how much time your foot is on the ground. And plus, it can detect if you're swimming, jogging, or running. Well, I hope it could have done that anyways, but for triathlon people and everything. So
What's the difference between jogging and running and sprinting?
Speed.
sprinting, you leave it all out there for a short distance. Yeah.
I'm running for my life.
Okay.
Running somewhere in the middle and jogging's like the warm up,
Yeah.
I'm like, I just didn't know what the difference was.
Jogging, you got great attire and you don't want to look bad and you can keep your hair looking good. Now, when you're running, you throw that all aside, doesn't matter.
I do like that. Not that I do a lot of running outside because I do no running outside. But for those that do, it said that it would like kind of detect the route, if you run the same route each time and allow you to be able to compare your metrics
I like that.
workout to workout, which I think that is really cool.
Especially for people who, do walks around the neighborhood, Well, Bob, it's the same neighborhood. We hit the 17 minutes and 12 seconds again.
I just don't want them to tell me how slow I am going because my orientation mobility is horrible. It's like I am just like so slow at it. And I stopped orientation and mobility because I just have decided I'm not going to learn how to cross an intersection. It's just not for me.
I remember when I was learning orientation and mobility, and my parents were like, definitely, they weren't outwardly nervous, but I could tell that they were nervous. And I would be like, oh yeah, I cross there's a pretty major intersection that's 3 lanes on each side. And I cross it, no problem. They're like, but it's such a busy road. And I'm like, it sounds horrible, but the busier the stoplight, the easier it is to cross it. The roads that were harder were those T intersections that are in the middle of the neighborhood where cars come by just enough where you don't know whenever you can go. Mm-hmm. So if it's comforting, I know it sounds counterproductive, but there's security in how busy a street is because you can very clearly distinguish when it's your turn to go.
Oh yeah, parallel traffic. Yeah.
I just need you guys to come down to Miami once and just listen to our traffic one day. Seriously. It's just like a whole new thing. Cause like there have been like a couple of times when we've been out at the corner analyzing traffic and you can just hear, the light has turned red, but there are like 2 or 3 cars that still go through the red light. And then like, others are going because they have the green and like they're near misses. And it's just, and people
always wait for that surge because that protects you.
Yeah, it's just terrifying.
It's called Uber.
What? I haven't taken an Uber.
If I arrive alive, I give you a 5. Is that what you?
Yeah, but I haven't taken an Uber since I've lost my vision. When I was low vision. Yeah, when I was low vision, I did. I do paratransit only now because paratransit would get me door to door. It would get me into the door. Uber, okay, we're here. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. I'm like,
I love it.
Chuck and roll. Chuck and roll.
We're here, and I have to like do a combat roll into the street, to get out,
You know what though? When I was traveling with my service dog, it was like, all right, bye, because they knew the service dog would kind of help. But now that I travel with my cane, almost all of the drivers, except for maybe 2, because I've been taking a lot of lifts lately, have been like, hey, the door's around this area, or do you need help to the door? Like, and I'm not saying all of the drivers are like this nice and above and beyond, but a lot of them are extremely helpful.
Welcome
That's
to
great.
Miami.
Love to go to a movie again, but I just don't even know how that's going to be possible because everybody's talking about the Top Gun Maverick movie. I'm like, oh,
It might get pulled.
I don't think so. Paramount is not going to let that happen. This is the biggest moneymaker they've had in a long time. It's not going to get pulled.
Okay, why would it be pulled?
They're being sued for not having the rights to the movie.
Yeah, because the rights that they signed for, they expired in 2020, but Paramount is saying that the picture was made before 2020. It's just being released, now, and that the lawsuit has no merit because the original Top Gun is like inspired by or something like that by this article that was printed. And they bought the rights to that article for the original Top Gun movie, and they had the rights until 2020. So, but I don't think Paramount is going to fight that one tooth and nail. But I haven't heard a bad thing about this movie. I've heard just great things about Top Gun Maverick.
I've never seen Top Gun. And yes, it is audio described.
Oh, Top Gun is audio described now?
Top Gun Maverick is audio described. I can't tell you if the original one is.
Okay. Yeah. I just don't know if I'll ever go to a movie theater again, even, you know?
The nice thing about the movie theaters, and it could just be calling ahead to say like, hey, like, could someone help me find my seat? Is it's assigned seats now? So
Assigned
seats? What?
well, you reserve your seat. So
Ooh.
it's not just a free for all. Like when you buy your ticket, you also pick your seat.
No way.
Yeah.
Since when? When did this start?
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
Welcome to the real world, Miss Miami.
And depending on the theater, you can even order food to be delivered. Like last time Charles and Trey went to the movies, when he bought his tickets, they ordered food to be delivered to their seats beforehand. So their food came during the previews. It was their popcorn, like everything they ordered, somebody brought it right to their seat for them.
AMC does not do that. Like the AMC 24 in the mall, it's a free for all. You go up to the window, you buy your ticket, and you go in, you get your popcorn, blah, blah, blah.
How long has it been?
Last time I went to the movies before I lost my vision, so it was about 2.5 years ago.
I would check it again because the AMC, they've been remodeling like all of them
Hey, Kelly.
to be this more modern way.
There was this pandemic thing that happened.
Well, even
Really?
before the pandemic, they were doing assigned seats at all of our theaters.
Well, the only time we did assigned seating was that when I saw the Star Wars, the first and the last trilogy, I went to some movie theater and it was like that. It was like one of those luxury theaters because I paid like the ticket cost me like $27 or something. And you get to your seat and they brought you popcorn and they had glassware and everything for like your drinks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'll never do that again because it just wasn't worth it for me. But, you know, they would bring like, you know, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, steaks. And then like
that's the new world now. Like you can order I'm not being facetious. Like all the theaters in our city, and I have to ask Charles if the one at the mall is like this, but I think they remodeled that one too, where it's these luxury loungers. So it's like a recliner and it's got like you can push a button and it just electronically reclines and stuff, and you can have adult beverages. They'll give you those. Pizza. It's legit now.
Yep, the Mall of America here has all that.
wow.
It's gourmet.
I don't know. When I go to the movie theater, I just want popcorn, my Nestle Crunch, and like a Coke. I'm like,
I've got to tell you though, those seats.
They'll feed you each kernel of popcorn one at a time.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know what theater you're going to, but those seats are very comfortable. Like they're not like the old seats that, you know, you feel like you're going to fall. Like these seats are so roomy and so comfortable.
No, even the last time I went to the movie theater 2.5 years ago, the AMC, the seats were roomy, they reclined, and you know, they did everything.
I bet you they're doing seat reservations now.
I heard on the airlines, and when I went out to Pittsburgh and back again, you could pick your own seat. However, they're starting to charge quite an astronomical amount. And I saw something now that they're charging up to $100 to pick your own seat.
Really?
They're trying to make up all that lost money from pandemic times. Because I've heard, you know, you used to be able to travel to like California from Colorado for maybe 300, 350. And that's if you kind of last minute booked your stuff. These tickets now are double that. To go,
to go to NFB, they're
direct
doing
flight.
it down in
Louisiana.
New Orleans.
Are any of you guys going?
No, ma'am.
No.
I just saw ticket prices ranging from $400 to $900.
The 400 might not be bad. That might be the one where you have like 16 stops. But
Hi, Callie.
Oh my gosh.
We're going over there.
But 400 doesn't sound bad at all. And it's probably a direct flight for you.
It's about a month out.
Mm-hmm.
The clock is
It's
ticking.
also hurricane season, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to think about hurricane
But the
season.
ACD's in Oklahoma.
No, it's in Omaha.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, okay. I was close.
Okay,
First and last letter were correct.
Really?
And that one is at the end of June. Well, towards the end of June, July.
Mid-July. Well, you did mention the spelling bee last time that it was coming on, and this was the first time they had the spelling bee off.
The spell off. It was awesome. I was so excited.
In 90 seconds, as many words as you could go.
Yeah, and the girl who won, she spelled like 26 words. She got 21 of them correct, and so she won.
90 seconds,
it was just, it was just, you know, just hearing her like spell these words, I'm like, oh my God.
I can barely spell any words, so.
I know.
You know what a new word I learned during the spelling bee, Jeff?
What?
Fartlick.
Is it not spelled like it sounds?
It is spelled like it's spelled Fartlek. And I'm going to bring this up to Jeff because you do this all the time, Jeff. You fartlick all the time. And what it is, it's when you run, you alternate between running and walking to build endurance.
Oh,
So
That is not the direction I thought that was going.
no.
I'm a regular fart licker.
You are a fart licker.
Gosh, I even have an app for fart licking. I didn't even know it.
You have to promise to not take that part out because that is really funny.
Don't leave it in. Please don't leave it in. But
It's so funny.
Yeah. You can ask your Alexa, what it means. Because I was like, I learned that on the spelling bee. It was like fart lick. I'm like, is this a real word?
Defined fartlick.
Fartlek means a system of training for distance runners in which the terrain and pace are continually varied to eliminate boredom and enhance psychological aspects of conditioning.
It's so funny that that's the only word she remembered, and yet there's
Yeah,
over
right.
700 words.
I would have remembered it too because
Come
if
on.
I heard that, I would have had to have looked it up.
Like deep down inside, I'm a teenage boy. Who doesn't?
You're telling me, like,
Whoa.
I am the same way. I did get back on the Peloton this week. You guys would be so proud. 3 days in a row so far.
Yay,
Monday,
go
Tuesday, Wednesday. So
Serena.
once I hit my 3 days, then I'm like, I can't. Like now I have a streak going. So
Was Chucky going to haul it out to the curb and put a for sale sign on it, or what?
he wouldn't have sold it, but he threatened to cancel the
$40.
membership each month, and like he just kept forgetting to cancel it, so it worked into my advantage. Because I was like, why didn't you cancel it? He's like, I asked if he kept forgetting, or he's like, yeah, I kept forgetting. So it worked to my advantage.
Oh, there you go.
Gosh,
It
good
was
for
like
you.
riding a bike, right back in the groove of things.
Getting back on it again, huh?
I enjoy them. I really do.
I want to do a treadmill. I just got to find something that will fit in my small room here.
Have you done a treadmill since you lost your vision?
No.
So I would suggest, like, even if you just go to the Peloton store and try one of theirs out, just try it because, this just could be me because I know Jeff has no problems with the treadmill, but for me, the treadmill and not being able to really see makes me very, very dizzy.
That's what I think I'll probably have an issue with because even just when I'm walking on the sidewalk, I kind of feel like I'm drunk. So I don't know, but it wouldn't be a Peloton because from the dimensions of that thing, I think it's longer than the wall that I would have to put it on.
Oh,
It's
no,
like-
they have a tiny one, but I just suggested that because they will let you try it out. So you can see if just generally a treadmill would work well. for
The
you.
main thing with a treadmill and not being able to see is you have to have constant contact with the rail or the hand rail in front or on the sides. There's no way you can let go because you'll go off the back.
The disorienting.
Yeah.
I will? Really? Okay.
It's just very disorienting.
So you'll always have contact with one hand or two hands on it, but you still get a workout. Believe me, it'll kick your butt.
Well, no, you need to pump your arms in order to get the workout going,
Well, if you pump your arms and you're doing it, you'll fall off the back end and you won't pump your arms anymore.
I mean, you could do. If you wanted to adapt it, you could probably do some sort of the resistance bands.
Mhm.
You could probably find a way to secure those and have those be a way that you can stay oriented and still be able to pump your arms. Probably be an even harder workout.
Mm.
You just lose your space.
You need some point of stationary contact because
Yeah.
you don't know if you're 3 feet back or if you're 3 feet forward,
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Treadmills, I really like them, but I don't trust myself letting go. Either I have one hand pumping, and then I switch off once in a while.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I said what I could do also, because there's a Planet Fitness about, 3/4 of a mile away from where I live. The membership is like $10 a month.
Mhm.
Sign up for a month, give it a try, see how
I
the
think they do
treadmills
free
are,
trials. So
You know.
you might not even have to truly sign up,
and see how I do if I fall down and am thrown off of it and thrown into the back of the wall.
You're
or
so
something
brave
like
that you're like, I'm going to do this in public.
Well, I say I might, Serena. I probably will check it out. I probably will
But
check
don't
it
feel
out.
bad. I have a sighted friend and she is a runner. She did marathons and runs just through her neighborhood for fun. That's not my cup of tea. But she told me that even she's fallen off the treadmill.
Mm.
She was like, yep, there were several people right beside me. I just fell off and got back up and just got right back. I was like, I would have been so embarrassed. And she has perfect sight. I don't know if she got distracted or what, but she definitely fell off.
No, I fell off of the treadmill. I had sight then. I was at the YMCA and I was working out before going to work. So it was 5:30 in the morning or
Mhm.
something. And I'm watching the television news and I'm like, I'm going to multitask here. So I took out my phone to like look at some feeds and stuff like that. And I got distracted and like lost my, my pace.
Did your phone go flying?
No, I held onto the phone. But
says the person that says they would only have a flip phone.
No, but I was flat on my face, and this person ran in there. Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, did anybody record that for YouTube? I was just like, no. I was like, please don't. Please don't.
That's actually isn't that funny how if you fall, you just more so care who saw you fall?
Yeah. I'll worry about my injuries later.
Yeah,
I just want to know if this is going to be on YouTube somewhere.
Like, who saw me? My mom once fell in a parking lot and this lady came and helped her up. And the lady looked at her and she was like, don't worry, I was the only one that saw you.
Because it is funny when people fall. It is.
I'm sorry, it is. You're right.
I saw a mime the other day, or someone was describing
Did you say
it
a
to
mime?
me.
Mime?
Really, Jeff? A mime?
With the beret and the striped shirt and everything?
Was he in a box?
It's from France, too.
So you have to leave this in there too, Jeff.
What do you call those things?
A meme.
A meme.
Oh.
I saw a meme the other day, or someone was describing it to me, and it says, I am so glad that when I was back in the 70s that nothing got recorded.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of it.
Yeah, there's no evidence of it. Yeah.
Well, WWDC, we just went all over the place with this one.
Would it be Tech Abilities if we didn't?
No, it won't be.
Have we ever stayed on point?
You never know what you're going to get.
There you go. And there's something for everyone in this one.
New words.
Which are not going to stay in this podcast.
So Kelly thinks.
Fartlek. I got that down. Fartec. People, get it right.
EK.
No.
Fartlek.
You were not even close.
You did not win.
Fartlek.
You get
You're
the
gonna
bell.
get the bell.
You're gonna get the bell.
It's LEK.
LEK. Fartlek. I just like laughed when I heard the
Did
word.
they define it when she asked about it? Like,
Yeah,
or did you just happen to look it up? Like,
No,
I
they
have to
defined
know.
it. They
And
defined
she
it.
got it right.
Yeah.
Nobody giggled when they said what word she had to spell.
No. I was just giggling to myself here.
It's a giggly word. Yeah.
It is a giggly word. Yeah.
Oh man.
You know that's staying in the podcast, right? Right, Kelly?
It's not. It's
You know,
not.
we voted.
I
and-
am almost certain when this gets uploaded, it will not be a part of the podcast.
It'll probably be right in the front, too.
Oh my gosh.
It'll probably be. Do you know what fartlek
Fartlek
means? In the beginning.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave us a message and let us know if we can put your voice on the next podcast. Drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, through these challenging times, to you, your family, and friends, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations
and the
reality
realities
of blind ability.
the realities of blind abilities.
Blind abilities.